Today on the show, Eric creates some incredible petit fours for an arty crowd in Vienna. 200-year-old recipe, the Rum Baba, is given the Eric Lanlard treatment, and no more dramas with an orange soufflé.
I always like a bit of drama with the dessert, and soufflé give you all of those.
After the demise of Napoleon, the relief in Europe was palpable. The remaining powers now decided to gather to redraw the European map, and they met at the Congress of Vienna.
The Russians are taking over Paris, and Napoleon is now in exile on Elba. The five great powers of Europe, Austria, Russia, Prussia, Britain and France, meet here in Vienna to decide on the future of Europe.
France, who had been terrorising the rest of the nation-states, were understandably not invited to the negotiating table. But Talleyrand managed to weave his way in, claiming he would act merely as a mediator.
So I know about all the big countries who were here at the Congress of Vienna, but who were the big characters?
Most flamboyant, excessive, exciting of all was our favourite man, Talleyrand. Him again. He galvanised Vienna. No one could believe it. He arrived to negotiate for what was supposed to be the beaten power, came out triumphant. They hired the Kaunitz Palace to seem as if the French delegation was this kind of big star delegation, and he had Carême and balls and celebrations. And Talleyrand was a genius.
So did Talleyrand steal the show? Did he manage to get everything?
Well, he tried to steal the show, but this was the Battle of the Titans. This was an incredible selection of men, and Prince Metternich, the Austrian minister, was perhaps one of the most impressive. And he was a very different character to Talleyrand. He was more melancholic, more principled, but at the same time, he was determined to win control. Metternich had an amazing network of spies, and they were spying out everything. If you think that all the kingly delegations, all the royals were together in the Hofburg Palace, nearly every person serving them was a spy, and every one of them was reporting back to Metternich. If Metternich was the quiet one sending out the spies, and Talleyrand was the great host, then the Tsar was the man that people were really afraid of. They were terrified of Russia. I mean, let's remember, Napoleon was utterly defeated by Russia when he tried to march through it in 1812. Its wastes, its cold, its sheer size defeated everyone, and everyone was rather terrified of the Tsar. After all these kind of great men, great celebrities, we have the man who Britain's forgotten, Lord Castlereagh, and he was a man utterly preoccupied with fair play. He wanted to see everything distributed fairly. And it's just so sad, because when he got back to Britain, people couldn't believe it. They said, you know, we're the victors. You've given too much, and you've given too much to France. And he became more and more unpopular. And the public criticism was so intense. 7 years after the Congress of Vienna, he just committed suicide. So that was rather a sad ending for what had been, for him, a great period in the Congress of Vienna.
The Congress was a seminal event in history, as it redrew the European map after the Napoleonic Wars. It reunified Germany, and historians cite it as the beginning of the European Union. The business of the Congress took place at the Chancellor's residence in central Vienna.
Well, this is where so much of what went on, so much of the future of Europe was all decided in these rooms here, particularly in this one, the Congressor. And what's significant about this one is it's got 5 doors.
Why 5 doors?
Why 5 doors? Because initially there were 4 main negotiators in the Congress of Vienna, and then, because Talleyrand was so clever, there were 5. And they each had to have their own door. The ego was so big, they were such superstars, they had to be equal. So they each had to have one.
They all worked together
at the same time.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Absolutely. It was like all 5 big musical stars together coming in, and their huge entourages, all their mistresses, all their girls, everything. It was a big show.
Wow, fantastic.
And what's really funny is that, yes, this is the 5-door room, the room of all the heroes, but the room wasn't really set up for it. So they had to kind of make these symbolic doors. And this one isn't really a door, it's more of a tiny cupboard.
Like a broom cupboard,
Like a broom cupboard, just ideal for all my mops.
I wonder who was was inside that?
Who was in disgrace?
It wasn't the French, I bet.
Never.
With the 5 main players terrified of being outmaneuvered by one another, negotiations were to go on for years. There's a recipe that dates from around this period that has caused much debate on the international stage. It's the Rum Baba. The Polish and the French think it's their invention.
I can't take any credit for this recipe because this is an original one. It's called Rum Baba. We all heard about it, but it's got a lot of history about it. So as we go along, I will explain to you where they come from.
First, the batter. Mix eggs and sugar until light and fluffy. Add melted unsalted butter, then warm milk, some plain flour and dry yeast.
And I'm going to keep it to the original recipes. I'm going to cook it in a proper Rum Baba mold. That's been greased with some butter and a bit of plain flour as well, just to make it easy to release. And we're just going to pour the batter inside. Okay, so that's going to go in the oven. Temperature of 170 degrees, not too hot because we want the yeast to do a business and make it rise our cakes. And probably around 50 minutes. It's quite a large cake, as you can see, so in the oven. This has given us enough time now to prepare the filling of our Rum Baba. We're going to make a crème pâtissière. So to start, we're going to take our egg yolks, and I got some hot milk. We're going to whisk in some caster sugar. So it's a little bit of a story about where the Rum Baba come from. First of all, the name wasn't Rum Baba originally. It was called Ali Baba by the King of Poland, who loved that dessert, and he loved the story of Ali Baba, so he decided to call it Ali Baba. And his pastry chef moved out of Poland and came to work in Paris at a patisserie who's still very famous this day. It was called Stoller. So they call it Rum Baba, and that patisserie before it called Stoller was called O Baba. So corn flour in the mixture. So I'm just going to pour the hot milk on my mixture, and I'm going to add the original ingredients, which is a bit unusual, some saffron. So we're going to mix that with our hot milk and egg mixture. And I know a lot of you will be surprised to use saffron in pastries, but it does work very, very well. So that's going to go back in the pan, and we're going to cook it back on the stove to thicken it. So you can see it's thickening quite quickly. Unsalted butter and a little drop of natural vanilla. That's a beautiful. The saffron is quite a sweet taste anyway, so it does work very well with pastries. Okay, so that's lovely and glossy, and we're going to leave it here to cool down till we put our cake together. But the next step is to make the syrup, because our baba, when it comes out from the oven, we're going to soak it with a syrup. So to do the syrup, add some water, the sugar syrup, and the tea. This is a very good quality Indian tea, and the dark rum as well. Okay, so that's going to go on the stove for around 5 minutes, taken to the boil to get nice and thick, and to infuse all the beautiful flavors from the Indian tea on the dark rum. Clean knife, so it's ready. Just going to move it here, and look, it's nicely risen. It's hot. Okay, that's very nice. So I'm just going to cut gently. Try to cut the bottom flat. Sieve the tea leaves, and the tea just gives an amazing fragrance to the syrup. And what we're going to do is we're just going to gently pour the syrup on soaked our baba. And take your time when you do that. Don't go all in once. Wait for the syrup to go in, and you carry on. We need to have all the syrup. When you put all the syrup in, after that you can leave it to cool down. So all the flavors and all the syrup really can go right inside
our cake before you decorate it. The longer you leave the baba to soak, the better. Okay, so our baba is completely cold now. You can see most of the syrup is gone now. We're gonna give it a bit of a shiny gloss by brushing some melted apricot preserve. And this as well will stop it for the outside to dry it out. It straight away looks so much better, you know, glossy. Here we are. And the next step, the crème pâtissière. I'm gonna add to that some golden sultanas that has been soaked overnight in dark rum. And this is sticking to the original recipe. And I'm just gonna fill the center of the cake. And now I'm gonna decorate it with some fresh seasonal berries. Final touch, a little bit of icing sugar. Here we are. Maybe a 200 years old recipe, but still as fabulous today. Delicious Rum Baba.
Relieved the terror of the Napoleonic Wars were over, the Congress of Vienna turned into a huge party. Talleyrand, always the negotiator, threw the best parties, bringing along beautiful young women from France and, of course, the world's first celebrity chef.
Carême and Talleyrand became famous all over France, creating the perfect blend between politics and food. And it was only natural for Carême to follow Talleyrand here at the Congress of Vienna.
But now it's Eric's turn to cook for a Viennese crowd. Art lovers who are meeting at the Museum of Art History for dinner.
Okay, so how is your cooking?
Good.
Good?
Especially with you.
Okay, well, you don't know yet. The cherry tomatoes, they've been washed and cut out all the little stalk. So that's gonna go on a baking tray, and we're just gonna scatter a bit of caster sugar around it.
So, tomato in the dessert?
To be honest, when they caramelize slowly in the oven, they always get very, very sweet. Add balsamic vinegar, put in the oven for 20 minutes. Let's do some chopping. Meanwhile, prep the salsa, which is chopped mint and pink grapefruit. You can see they're just starting to burst. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave them on the back to cool down, and after that, we're going to put them in the fridge so they're nice and chilled. Next, the trio of chocolate mousse. Place the white, dark, and milk chocolate into separate bowls. Heat cream gently, pour over the chocolate mix, and leave to cool. Right, time for cocktail now. Let's make some mojitos. Some vanilla sugar. That's pure vanilla sugar. That's that.
Beautiful.
Very nice. So we're just going to put that in a mortar, and if you just pick some nice leaves and give it a good grind together. Okay, so we've got 200 ml of lime juice. That's around 8 limes. Top it up with some white rum. Melt some gelatin, which will make your mojito a mousse rather than a drink. Lime juice and rum together. I'm going to add the melted gelatin to it. In go the leaves and mix well. It's got the...
It's amazing, yeah, it's got a kick in it.
Yeah, it's got a kick on it. Then fold in the whipped cream. Pour into shot glasses, grate lime zest on the top. I know when the Congress of Vienna was on, a lot of big decisions were taken, but it was a big party as well.
It was an incredible party. It was the party, if you were it, you had to be there.
And of course the best chefs were here. I mean, Carême was there.
Well, Carême was there, and this is how Talleyrand made himself so influential, because Carême made these incredible meals, incredible dinners. Everyone wanted to be there. Everyone wanted to be eating Carême's fabulous food.
Time to finish our fabulous food. Back to my chocolate mousse trio. Okay, so this one's going to have to set before we move the other 2 layers to it. So I think the time is catching up on us, so we need to move our layers to make sure we are on time for this party. These are chocolate fruit tartlets. To make sure we got some good calories, we're going to add some unsalted butter. That's going to give us a nice glossy chocolate filling. Fill them up. That's going to set nicely as well.
Okay, so if you can take them to the fridge, and we're going to decorate them again at the museum, if we ever make it, because at the moment we're not doing too well, we're a bit behind, so we're going to carry on.
Next, for the trio, time for the milk chocolate layer. We then reset them in the fridge.
So, again, some little chocolate pastry shell as well, so it's going to be easy to spread inside.
These berry tartlets are layered with mascarpone cheese.
So it's a fruit jelly, and it's you dissolve it with some water and a bit of caster sugar, and you just brush it on. Okay, so this one are done, nice and glossy, and our chocolate mousse. Probably it should be all set. So,
The white chocolate goes on at last.
They look marvellous. I think they might be the favourites.
you think so? We'll see.
We'll find out how Eric's Petit Fours go down in Vienna later. Now a dessert that's often a bit of a drama. It's another one championed by Carême, the soufflé.
When I entertain at home with friends, I always like a bit of drama with the dessert. And soufflé give you all of those, because you never know till the last minute are they going to rise or not. And this soufflé is Madame Pompadour soufflé. It's actually an orange base, and it's actually cooked inside an orange skin. So when it's going to come at the table, you're going to get the fragrance of the hot orange skin, plus all the beautiful soufflé mixture inside. So the first step is to take some oranges, gently carve the inside out, cut the segment out. After using a spoon, you just scoop it out. I mean, this is the lovely dessert for after an heavy meal. You know, it's quite wintry as well with the, the smell of the orange skin. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for, completely empty.
Put egg yolks and caster sugar together in a bowl and whisk until the volume doubles.
Orange zest to give full-on flavors. So 2 zest. And I'm going to put the 2 orange juice as well. So I just pass that through a sieve. And a good dessert is not a good dessert without alcohol, so I got some orange liquor here. So I might add that to it. And with a whisk, just mixing it gently. The kitchen already smells like Christmassy and delicious. You can imagine what it's going to be like when it's going to be hot.
Whisk egg whites into fluffy peaks.
So this is the part where you need to have everything ready. You need to have your base, you need to have your oranges, and your oven at 210 degrees, so quite hot. Take a good dollop of egg white. You can give it a good whisk. This is just to thicken the mixture. But for the rest of the egg white, it's important we fold them inside. So I'm going to empty all the rest of the whites and gently folding the egg white in. And actually, we're cooking it at quite a hot temperature, a bit hotter than you should do a soufflé usually, because I want the top to be almost like gratiné, so you give it nice, lovely colors. If you still got some little lump of egg white inside, it doesn't matter, because the more you're going to mix, the less it's going to rise. I'm very happy with that, and I'm just going to fill the oranges now. And I'm going to fill them right to the top, so hopefully we'll get a volcano effect when they start to rise. I mean, it's such a light dessert, and it's easy to make. I mean, everybody's got oranges at home. I mean, it's nothing difficult there, and it will definitely impress your friends or your guests. And it only is going to take 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so I gave them 9 minutes, and I kept my eye on it as well. Always do it. Wow. They look perfect. You see what I mean about the colors? And this is when you need to go fast and serve them very quickly. And a nice way to present them is to put them in antique teacups like this. So I'm going to lift them and just slide them inside the teacup. And we're just going to sprinkle a few little orange zest. If you are lucky, it will be a bit of dribbling on the bottom of the pan, so you can check the quality. It's so light, but the flavors are so strong as well. It's just
It's just amazing. After a rich dinner, that's a perfect dessert. And that's my perfect Soufflé Pompador.
Back at the History of Art Museum in Vienna, Eric and Katie arrived to set up their display.
Okay, so everybody else is almost set up. You can see we got all the food,
Yes,
buffet
yes.
ready, and the guests going to be very, very soon.
Very
so
soon.
we just need to finish our display.
There are a few finishing touches, and then it's time for a quick taste.
The popping candy on it.
Secret ingredient.
Yeah. I think we've done
Look
a brilliant
amazing.
job.
It
there.
looks
We've done
so
a brilliant
beautiful.
job.
It looks so
I mean,
beautiful. Carême would be proud.
I know, it would be definitely proud. And to be honest, I think
Is it time to taste?
that's very refreshing.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So much chocolate.
It's not
so
too
much
rich
cream,
as well,
but it's so
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Oh. Oh, that's amazing. That's
Very
like a
good,
giant
yeah.
sweet. That's my favourite.
The guests have finished looking at paintings and sculptures and are now looking forward to art they can eat.
People are already queuing for the buffet here.
Really marvellous.
Yeah?
Well, that's something special.
Yeah.
It's really special.
That's really nice.
I like this, thank you.